All good to go?
We are good to go.
All right.
Greg, can you hear us okay? We cannot hear you.
You cannot hear me because
Oh,
I was muted.
Your lips are moving. but
Greg,
nothing's
we
coming out.
still are unable to hear you.
You still can't hear me?
Okay. You
Greg,
look
I'm assuming you still have computer problems, but
does
we'll
it-
keep you on.
All right.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
we'll
now it
keep you
talks.
on.
Yeah, yeah.
I have you unmuted and we can see you just fine. But your audio is not coming through at the moment.
Okay.
We will just continue on. Welcome, everybody. Thank you very much for coming out tonight. And I'll let you get started.
Look at you
Chairman.
in charge. I like this.
I just almost launched the whole meeting myself.
There you go.
didn't I?
There you go.
Please, please, Mr. Chairman, please start the meeting.
Olivet Economic Development Commission for March 25th, 2024. It's now a session. Mr. Trejo or Ms. Doty, since you're in charge, will you call the roll?
I will do so. I did not.
We'll find out.
Commissioner Jacobs?
Here.
Oh, please use your.
Here.
Thank you very much. Please always remember to use your microphone. Chairman Pattershuk,
Out here.
Vice Chairman Zelinski.
Here.
Oh. And, sorry, Commissioner Moons and Commissioner Talbot are absent. We also have a city council liaison, Jay Gregory Carl, on Zoom and, planning director Carlos Trejo and myself, Dawn Doty, in attendance. And now,
Fantastic.
Mr.
Thank you.
Chairman.
Thank you so much. Get right into this. If we have any public comments, I see a very sparse crowd this evening.
We could pan.
Is there anyone online just waiting to beg for a question?
We do not currently have anybody online other than our council liaison
Fantastic.
and myself.
Makes things move along quicker.
A little.
Okay, discussion business awards. Ms. Doty.
I'm
I'll
gonna
give you the floor on
switch
this.
over here. Oops. To the presentation. And so, oh, hey, looky there. All right, a little review of our responsibilities. We were established in 2005. I did this little write-up today. So if you haven't looked at what our our EDC responsibilities are, it is written in our code of ordinances and with our new comprehensive plan. We are to be proactive in our economic development activities within our community, talk with our businesses, promote our businesses, work with Creve Coeur Olivet Chamber to promote our businesses. So this is our main topic of discussion tonight, which is the business awards. And I'm sorry, I've definitely skipped over all of the fine print on that, and lost my train of thought, is in line with our major procedures and responsibilities, or not procedures, but responsibilities. As far as procedures go, we'll have a staff overview. We do vote by roll call, but tonight our only vote will be on who our business awardee will be and who our restaurant awardee will be. Sorry, restaurant of the year and business of the year. Meetings will be recorded and available on the city website as early as tomorrow morning. But don't wait. Bated breath. We usually are on time. Public comments, all public comments should be limited to 3 minutes. Do not believe that will be an issue this evening. As far as our nominations concluded for the business award overview, I'm hoping that you all had at least some opportunity to review the feedback that was received. It's to guide us, and I don't know if you noticed this, but if you looked at if you looked at some of the descriptions ahead of time, some of them were not very descriptive at all. One of them just said dance. And so as I tried to ferret those out as best as I could and make sure that they were all substantive feedback to provide, mistakes were made. Judgment calls were made, let's put them that way. This was a really successful, I think, first blush at taking, well, activating the community for our business community. We really saw some activity from two different businesses. They had in the both under the business of the year category, which I thought would be I assumed would be our most difficult category. It was very hot, however, whenever a lot of tweens at St. Louis Dance Academy found out about it and all tested out their new iPhones with their nominations. They had some very well-written nominations, and even some of the businesses that received less nominations received very articulate, well thought out nominations. So I hope you do consider all of them. There are, St. Louis Dance Academy really dominated the vote, like, almost over 50% of the vote, which was, or no, almost 50% of the vote. And we only had two businesses that were outside of all of that under both categories. I was very disappointed with the businesses that did not make it through because they did not have their business license. So, and that would include some of yours and my favorite stores. Yeah. There is an honorable mention to Murphy Company and Walgreens, which I had extracted from this list. And I, in hindsight was an error. They both received one nomination, but they were from, or they didn't have any kind of description with or any attributes that they selected. You didn't have to actually comment. You didn't have to select any attributes. So while those attributes are there, they're not exactly vetted. There are a lot of claims of if it is and I didn't include those results in the presentation, but we don't know necessarily that they have, that they support their staff. It is great that Homewell, which is a home, well, they do non-medical at-home care for patients, and which I think kind of makes, but they had their employees respond, and they gave a lot of very positive and with a lot of insight into the business, but most businesses don't have the information on their ethical business practices or sustainable business practices, and we don't have the capacity to vet them either. So it was very fun, though, reviewing all of these and seeing the kind of responses that we got with Olivet Lanes, the Carmel House, the Artery, the Wine Merchant, Plant Haven, all receiving, some very, even though they didn't receive as many, the acknowledgement they received was pretty great. Thank you. Any questions or?
Just open them up for discussion. Does anybody have anything to say?
Yeah.
I mean, since we don't have defined criteria on the business of the year, I would support the voice of the people.
I tend to agree with that. I will say this, I mean, looking at this, especially with the comments, et cetera, this is really cool. No, because no, what's neat about it is that Okay, Home Well Care Services, they got some really nice comments. I don't know much about them, but now I do. And this is an opportunity for businesses to get excited about something, for lack of a better word, something a little bit fun, a little bit silly, something like that. But it can really help boost the morale and the presence of these companies in our little town.
And it's
And
not
it-
silly
yeah.
because as a small business
Yeah.
owner, anything you can use to market yourself as awesome is super helpful.
Agreed, yes.
Right?
Lack of a better word. It's just a fun thing to do.
Yeah, it's not silly. It's like, well,
Well,
look,
I'm
I'm
taking
the business person of the year. Look at me. Aren't
Coming
I
off of-
awesome?
I'm coming off of the tween comment and
Yeah.
their new
That was
their
Their
new
new
cell
iPhone.
phones, yeah. But this is,
That is conjecture, 100%.
and I tell you what, as soon as
Based
we
on
go
fact.
ahead, as soon as we go ahead and publicize this information and the participation in it, I'm really looking forward to next year. And next year, we're gonna have really cool plaques.
Yeah. I do have some sample plaques, but I want to concentrate on.
Sure, that's fine. We
Yeah.
can look at that later, but
Okay.
we can kind of get this one under a belt here. But to Nate's point, I mean, let the people speak. I thought myself, I did not vote because I thought, you know what, we're going to be up here, deciding. So why should I get 2 votes, that sort of thing. So I just thought it would be more not advantageous, but a little more ethical if we just sat here and just looked at what people, put something out there and see what comes back to us.
Right.
So,
No, I understand that. And in hindsight, like, that's why Murphy Company and Walgreens got bumped to the honorable mention. They were staff picks and.
Like city staff?
Yeah. And, the voting for the dark horse that we know is overlooked, and that we want to elevate, right? So, I love Walgreens because they're very kind,
And they're right next door. So if
Yeah,
you need a
they're-
drink, you just wander right over there and get a soda.
so good. I mean, I guess is your, Nate, is your idea in the form of a motion at all to,
I think she said we each get a vote.
okay.
I think it's what she said the rules of the road were.
Well, although I
Okay.
think that our chairman is correct that somebody should, and I did not draw up a motion. I didn't know if we wanted to discuss any of the results of, the business of the year and then talk about, and then we'll transition to restaurant of the year. But I think to the chairman's point, we need somebody to propose a motion to vote for the business of the year.
I move that we vote for business of the year.
Thank
Second.
you. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Chair Fugel.
Ayes have it.
Wonderful. May I have your votes?
Oh, or no, may
Oh,
I?
I'm
call for
sorry.
discussion?
I've got to call. Oh, do you want to, or sorry, do you want to do discussion or do you want to do the roll call?
We already did the roll call.
Well, you roll call for
For
the
the
vote,
vote,
yeah,
oh,
but.
Probably
well,
discussion.
Discussion then
Okay.
roll call, yeah.
Discussion.
Are we voting from the nominated companies or are we allowed to vote for somebody who's not listed? Not that I want to do that. I'm just asking what the rule is.
Oh,
There are none this year.
We're
Yeah.
making
So we're
rules.
trying to, I mean, I think given the number of businesses outlaid, I don't know.
Okay, well then I would suggest through discussion, not through motion, that we stick to what's on the page. Just
Okay.
to keep it, because like you said, some of the people that were nominated didn't have business licenses. So what if one of us nominates somebody we don't know, right?
yeah. The ones that are in front of you are fully vetted.
Let's
Yeah.
stick with that.
So,
That's my recommendation. Anybody wanna-
I think that sounds like a good plan.
Okay. All right, so
Yeah,
now what?
yeah.
You just want to roll call
Any
the
other
vote?
discussion?
so, and I do appreciate your guys' good humor as we're just figuring out our first year.
No worries.
So, if I can get, so what, as you guys have stated, the people have voted, or go with what the people have voted. For business of the year, is it okay if I frame the language of the vote, Carlos, or,
Go for it.
No, I think that they've identified it. If we're going by what the people have voted,
okay,
the
So-
winner would be the St. Louis Academy of Dance.
okay,
So, okay.
so we,
I-
that's,
Is that okay?
That's basically, yeah, that's
I-
basically, it. I think we're
Is
all.
that how you would have framed the question?
Now, in fairness, that means we're setting a precedent when we get to the next category.
Mm,
Which there's-
oh,
which there's
yes,
a tie.
in which it is not
So-
as clear of a winner.
I would like to vote for the St. Louis Academy of Dance due to the large amount of support and
I agree with
nominations
that. That's
they
what I
got.
would have
Okay,
done
I-
too.
That's what I would.
I,
would
my,
agree with
my
that.
vote will go for the St. Louis Academy of Dance due to the enormous amount of
Support.
The
likely
outpouring
voting age
support.
people who voted for it, which was not criteria at all,
No, no, and nor should it be.
and nor should it be, right?
Fantastic.
And Becky?
I agree. I
Okay,
think we should
right.
vote for the St. Louis Academy of
Okay.
Dance.
I would say that it's done. I don't know, did we do, was that a motion?
That was a motion and a roll call vote. I mean, I didn't call it, but everyone has voted on the record.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh,
It's
okay.
got to be a roll call.
Oh, it does have to be a roll call vote. Okay. Commissioner Jacobs,
I vote for St. Louis Academy of Dance.
Chairman Pattershak,
Vote for St. Louis Academy of Dance.
Vice Chairman
I
Zelinski,
vote for St. Louis Academy of Dance.
and Commissioner Moons is absent and Commissioner Talbot is absent. All right, and we have St. Louis Academy of Dance as our 2004 first annual Business of the Year.
Go ahead. and order the
Congratulations.
plaque.
Yay.
Little hand for
Okay.
them. Good for
All
them.
right.
Yay, yay.
Try and
Okay,
quiet the crowd
now,
down here.
This is really where it does get a lot more complicated. Because, I guess not more complicated, but it's a less, clear voice of the people. I looked into our business universes as far as restaurants and total businesses. We have significantly fewer businesses in Olivet, and I think it's kind of awesome that, so many were well represented.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yes.
Is it possible? Is it an option to have a tie?
No.
Okay.
We do have to have a winner.
We have to have well, why, I thought we were making up the rules tonight, so,
I would love to, but budget will not allow it.
can only afford one plaque.
They could share the award and just move it back and forth between the two.
There you go. I like that. A traveling
Get it
award.
Next month.
Okay.
Or we have a cook-off.
I
mean-
I love that idea. Guys have great heads. Oh, I guess, and then this is our discussion. So this.
Feel we are in a kerfluffle.
It's a pretty difficult choice to make. They're two, breakfast place versus, sports bar.
Tongue in cheekedly, I mean, let's be real, I was very disappointed last week because Olivet Diner's not open on Monday and I was hungry. But
Well-
other than that, they're fabulous.
True,
You
yeah.
could, lean on the public feedback.
That's what I was looking at,
Yeah,
but it's stellar,
yeah,
both places.
it really is.
If anything, if you just look at, the printed page here, Olivet Diner's been, although it has changed ownership in time, it has been here for a very long time. Hence the, album cover on the wall from the 1970s
The Head East album. cover.
that they
Light
were
as a pancake.
featured in. Yes. And I know the owners of both places. So, again, it's very, very difficult to do. And I would say if, I do frequent the Olivet Diner more. More of a breakfast person than a late night person. I don't know if that means anything or not, but,
More about
but-
you than
and-
the
and
places.
That's right, and more about me, but I'd say, you know what, it's been here for a long time. I don't know if they've ever won any awards, and they do have Olivet in their name.
Well, there you go. And I would also offer this up, and this maybe doesn't matter, maybe it does. Vince works his tail off, you know? I mean, he works so freaking hard.
Mhm.
So I would be more, not that Dan doesn't, he does,
Oh,
but he's
yeah.
also got a huge staff that helps him out and, you know. I
Dan
think
and
I would
Chris,
vote,
yeah.
I personally, I think we should vote.
And actually Melinda as well.
I don't know who
uh,
that is, but. okay.
Well, she's his wife and she waits the tables and stuff and she's actually more of the face of the, yeah, you know her well.
I'm sure I do.
But she's more of the face of the what'll you have, so. Any input?
I mean, if you two are gonna vote for Olivet Diner, I will vote for Fallon because it's a tough contest and I think both restaurants deserve a vote.
I totally agree.
Okay, that's good.
I agree with you.
I would vote for Olivet Diner.
I would vote for Olivet Diner as well.
I would vote for Fallon's Irish Bar and Grill.
Well, fantastic. I'm sure that we'll be back again.
All right, let's do the roll call. Or do we need to?
Yeah, to
Well,
do it.
Officially, yeah,
Motion.
go ahead. Motion to do a roll call to vote.
Okay. Commissioner Jacobs,
I vote for Olivet Diner.
Chairman Patushek,
I vote for Olivet Diner.
Vice Chairman Zelinski.
Fallon's Irish Bar and Grill.
All right, and Commissioner Moons and Commissioner Talbot are absent. So we have it, Restaurant of the Year 2024, first annual Restaurant of the Year is Olivet Diner.
Are we sure the winners can all make it to the award ceremony? And if not, does the second place person get the award?
We'll say this, Olivet Diner was on television about 2 weeks ago.
They were?
And it was
Anyway.
I talked to Melinda about it. We were in there. I said, hey, saw you on TV. He says, yeah, they just showed up. They didn't
was
really
that about?
book anything. It was,
Maybe they were hungry.
It was
was it
Tim and
Pancake
Steve
Tuesday or
Zell.
Steve Zell?
something, or, yeah. And it was, I forget what it was. It was about
It's
you know,
not like him
National,
to
maybe
just
it was
show up,
National
though.
Diner Day or something. I don't know what it was, but.
It
some-
was National Pancake.
Pancake Day, that's what it was, probably sometimes known as maybe Shrove Tuesday, the day before Lent.
Oh.
Also known as
Day before,
Fat Tuesday.
yes, also.
I
known
believe
as
that is
Fat
Pancake
Tuesday,
Day.
yes, Yes.
That's pretty cool.
I celebrate that.
Huh?
I celebrate that.
I celebrate anything that involves. food.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Okay, we got that
Done and
taken
done.
care of.
Done and dusted, as they say.
All right.
But I tell you what we can do is, figure out how to utilize this for a little bit more marketing and a little bit more, outreach to other businesses and stuff like that. Because we had some fun doing this, actually.
Do we have a newsletter that goes to the businesses?
Yeah. I mean, not specifically to the businesses, but we have the newsletter,
Well,
the quarterly
sure.
newsletter. So everybody receives it.
yes.
I really look forward to next year, gathering a little bit more steam in the public. It was, I look forward to redoing the interface of the voting. It was fairly, I mean, it was very easy to put together, but difficult to take apart in terms of the data, which I thought should have been a lot easier. But it, verifying everybody, there were businesses that popped up that weren't even in our database. And I was like, that seems odd. So I don't know what caused some of those anomalies. However, if there are businesses that were more than 2 years or so that they hadn't renewed their business licenses, they might not have been there.
Did we tell the companies who didn't get in consideration because they didn't have their business licenses?
Are you going to?
We did not, but we,
Probably gonna use that information.
yes,
however.
we will. Yeah. We have our renewal letters going out later, well, early next month, so, few weeks.
Okay, and I guess the next item of business here, if we're done.
Yeah.
Is to select an award.
Just tell me if I'm off, what you like.
Do I
If
have that?
you don't have one, but
I don't think I have that. I
I'm
can just
I
look.
think it's,
No,
I
that's all right,
think it's the
I'll-
last page, isn't it?
No, it's a separate document. Thank you. What's the exclamation point for?
So, those possibly may not be available for years to come. Ideally, like I would like to have a consistent look.
Is this like a 1-year thing? And we talked last time about maybe having like a local artist or something like that, go ahead and design something?
Yeah, I would really love to have something that looked consistent from year to year. But I know that this is our first year. So maybe that's not even possible, or it's not possible to get what we want this year anyway. So we don't have to worry about the longevity of how it looks because we're not going to be using it at all next year anyway. But I like the mosaic one the best. It fits with our, the one that has a
great.
warning symbol next to
I
it.
like both of them.
Now I didn't know also, I had imagined it to be more like a plaque, but also then that's in my mindset of the City of St. Louis Mayor, Business of the Year Award. And that's a plaque that has a little arch on it, and you walk into any city, business, and
You recognize it.
it's an identifiable award, and you know what it is and who it's from. And that was kind of where, where the longevity, I would love to have something that was going to be consistent year over year. However, you make the first year also an oddity, and that is the first year award, and everything else is basic.
Yeah, and it could be
Well, and-
quite the collector's item.
And you can put our city logo on there. That'll be
Yes.
identifiable. So
Yes. I mean, I don't think we can go wrong. I mean,
Don't overthink
everything
it.
will be identifiable. I just, I have that branding, marketing ideal in my head of consistency being
Well,
thing of
I
beauty.
think these are beautiful. I would love to hang one of those on my wall. Like I would be pleased with that. Two things that came to mind. The square one, the 8x10 one or whatever that is one for hanging.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one sits on a desk, but can it also be hung is my question.
All the ones that, the ideal was to have something that would be hung. I didn't know what you guys would really like, so
Can
I.
these be hung though? Do they have
Oh,
to be
yes.
on there?
Oh, no, those cannot.
Okay.
So they
Yeah,
have to build a trophy case now, thinking
Yeah,
they're gonna win a lot
so
more
that's a
awards.
consideration.
it is a consideration.
That's one thing. And the other
Yeah.
question I had along the lines of what you were just talking about, Dawn. We should have somebody in town that could design a beautiful plaque for us.
It would be something that we could do next year.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
That's what I
okay,
mean.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
in the-
for this year,
Yeah, no,
we
I
still have to.
Absolutely.
And
For
if you-
next year though, I think that would be the thing.
Yes, yeah. And if you guys are just like, okay with the direction that we're going, I'm still going on. I'm having more problems with availability than I thought I would, and price. The most of the ones that I found online more recently, they're not in town, but the prices are
Better.
a lot lower. I don't know if the engraving will be up to snuff.
Do we still have a local trophy and plaque place around here?
In New City.
Is it still there?
Yeah, and there's one in Kirkwood, and then I found another one, that's, I think, in Baldwin. So that's,
I'm still all about if we can support a small business, I would much rather do that.
yeah,
Agreed.
definitely. That is the top priority. And Mr. Lowe has really been working with us, rather doggedly, I'd have to say.
Oh, that's nice of him.
Yeah, because he's the one who said that it wouldn't be available next year. Although we may not be able to order, if we go with the mosaic looking ones, then we can't order them through him at all because he can't get them.
Oh,
So
That's a
like
horse
it's
of a different color.
yeah, there's a whole glass award supply chain issue subplot here. So Yeah.
okay.
and pricing.
Well, I
But
think,
if
I
you're
think we'll,
if you're
we
good
need
with
to
it.
order something.
Well, I think you
and-
should just pick out the
yeah.
prettiest next one then. That's what I think. you should do.
And the award ceremony.
That we could get
is-
for 10.
Is
is
in
it
May.
within weeks. right?
May,
Yeah.
no, it's May 16th, and we do have a good ordering window.
Okay.
We've decided this evening, so I can put the orders in, and I think you like that one?
Well, I mean, it's the
Yeah.
next prettiest one
I like that one too.
and it's acrylic, not glass.
Yes, I kind of figured, maybe it's not a shock that glass on a wall is a good idea, but, acrylic, is that gonna look cheap? I don't know.
I don't think so. I think it'll be pretty. I think it's probably gonna look three-dimensional if I had to guess from what I'm looking at here.
Yeah,
That it's gonna be like the print and then the acrylic sort of, and it's,
yeah, I think so. Yeah, these are the ones that really impressed me, and
And can we get that one through, Ken?
I think so. I did ask him to price it and check availability for it today.
Okay.
Let me see.
And this is, being presented at the chamber? Is that where it is? Okay.
Oh, no, that one is not through. I can see if Ken has that one. That's a fine arts one, so I'd have to see if that one's there.
I think they'll be disclosed at the coffee at the mayor, and then the award would happen at the chamber.
Thank you for reminding me, Carlos. Coffee with the mayor, are the next coffee with the mayor, and then the date I am blanking on.
It was up here a minute ago.
April 10th will feature our very own.
Us. The very own us.
Yes. Chairman Patterchuck is going to come and speak at our coffee with the mayor, along with Carlos, to talk about, our economic development efforts, everything that's going on in the city currently. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Okay. Is that a bigger, if we can talk later? Need to?
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. It's like, I know that it'd probably be a big draw, as our meetings usually are. But,
It will take place at Five Oaks, which
Mhm.
does draw a fairly different crowd
What's
than
Five
normal.
Oaks?
It's the new community center.
Oh, sorry, I forget that that's what it's called.
No,
I
it's
apologize.
1200 North.
It says city center right there. This is what I
so
think
yeah.
of when I think of city center,
it is,
this place.
it is. It is City
Municipal
Center.
center.
What?
Municipal Center.
Although I believe we call it city center. Oh, I see.
That's not confusing.
Oh, yeah, I see where that says that. So
yeah, it
it
just-
did just recently change to Five Oaks. It
Okay.
was normally, so it says,
Read all the words on the page. Note to self.
Yeah.
but our brains aren't trained that way anymore.
No, mine is.
We're not general public. So anyway. Do we have-
Okay.
And that is all I have for the evening.
So that's where it's being announced, not at the, not
Oh,
at the
It-
chamber?
Okay, so the awards will be given to the companies at the Creve Coeur Olivet Chamber Luncheon on May 16th. And the awards or the awardees will be announced to the public
At that.
at
Got it.
this, at
Okay.
April 10th.
All right.
Well, given that this is a live meeting on Zoom, which will be available
Good point.
tomorrow morning,
morning.
I assume that
They
there's
will know.
really no secret here.
Yeah, no, it's not a surprise.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Carlos, do you have anything else? Okay. Commissioners, do you have anything else?
Do we need to
Just-
review minutes?
Just if
Do
there's,
not
if
have
there's
minutes to
anything,
review.
if there's, I've been to, I think, one or two of these, coffees with the mayors in the past, and, it's pretty light fare. It's just sort of question and answer sort of thing, so I don't know if there's anything that, that you would, any commissioners would suggest I bring up, if there's any burning issues that you feel that are.
I'm curious about what the attendance is like at these. I've never been to one.
There's about a dozen people.
Yeah.
Of that dozen, 10 of them are the same people.
Okay,
You
good to know.
often like can.
The other two are the.
I don't think you can hear me,
are the
but-
guests.
Speaker.
Yes.
And their spouse.
Often referred to as the usual cast of characters.
My hope would be that, and we'll put some questions together and there, but really, I mean, I think it's good to advocate what the EDC has done through this 5-year plan. And Nate, I mean, you helped us draft that in there that, you know, we wouldn't be at this point to be able to engage and do this business awards if it wasn't for putting us on track in there. And that EDC really has done, you know, we've collected a lot of data, you know, in there, so we know our businesses, and then you guys have now engaged with businesses doing the one-on-ones or stop-bys in there. And then there's all the other economic development stuff that you also handle on the other side.
Yeah,
in
but
there,
there's,
so-
yeah, there's a lot of stuff that, there's approvals that everybody hears about, but then there's, you know, things that we don't necessarily talk about in the public, the closed door sessions and things that we hear about
Mhm.
and things we've turned down. And, you know, with relevance to the master plan of the city and things like that, that we want to maybe touch on a little bit, but, there is a certain amount of privacy involved in that, but there's also just the idea that, yes, there are some things that, that have been, the city's been approached about or that are not necessarily palatable to most residents. So we can talk about a little bit about that too.
Well, this
Okay,
is-
all right. All right, other business. So we have any meeting minutes?
No, our last meeting, we did not have a quorum and I could not figure out, or I believe Jack did the minutes, but I could not figure out where they were. So,
Next
it's
time.
a little embarrassing to
Next
admit
time.
that.
That's,
So,
that's actually fine. Actually, you know what, there's, we talked a little bit about it last meeting with regards to maybe going to a 2-month schedule rather than a single month. Maybe we can make that official now, unless there's something pressing where, we really need to be, give our advice on something that's,
Pressure.
that has some time, elements to it.
And I think that's something we can bring. We didn't have a quorum to kind of talk about that at the last meeting. And also our liaison wasn't in, but I think we will look for our liaison to engage the council to get their consent to go to every other month. And then to be on an as needed basis if we have some type of proposal coming in that we need an assessment or
Right.
evaluation.
it needs to be more frequent.
So we don't need to have some sort of a formal request? We just go through you on this?
We would
Greg?
go through the liaison and,
Okay.
and our liaison would have that discussion with the council.
Greg, you're gonna have
Okay.
to start writing on the back of paper and just hold it up so we can see it since we can't hear you.
He's been so quiet.
Still can't hear you, buddy.
I think it's on your end.
Right, and of course, here we are. Our next, our next item on the agenda is city reports. Greg, anything to say?
Oh, yeah, I got a lot to
Oh,
say.
thank you.
Thank you,
That's awesome.
thank you for that.
Thank you for that, sir. So I said, write it on a piece of paper and hold it up to your computer so we can see it.
Right, Carlos?
Then we'll read it into the record.
Do we have any reports?
No, I'm sorry, we do not.
Okay,
Carlos, did you have any,
any updates on
anything to report?
anything?
If there's any questions on that I can answer, but
I understand that there's a new optometry business, moving into the former Lamar.
that is
stores.
correct.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
and also if I might state about Bianco's announcement that they are currently 100% leased at, Olivet Center.
Nice.
So, I remember when I first started here, that was going to be, or was kind of like where our most vacancy might be with the Tuesday morning moving out and
Mhm.
everything. So it's really nice to see that kind of occupancy at this
Yeah, it's
time,
great.
So
Good for
quickly.
them.
fantastic. Actually, I've seen some activity, a lot of cars being parked at the Turek building, which is right at
Right next to the-
Dolores.
yeah.
And is there something happening there? Because I noticed that I haven't been by there, but I noticed there's something posted on the door.
It's been leased and there is a business that's operating out of there, a service type of business. They're actually, what's the term on it?
So they solicit signatures for political campaigns.
Oh,
Canvassing company.
There you go. So they got it is a split building. So they got the east side facing the shops. The west side is not occupied, and that's why that sticker's there.
okay.
Make sure it was clear.
Is this basically for like a long-term business or is something?
I
that
think
just
it's
lasts through
gonna
the
be, my
election?
guess is gonna be a short term.
Okay,
And to facilitate them and to get the building in use. We worked with the ownership group, because they are gonna be doing, the thing needs some major TLC, but we want to recognize that the elections are coming up really quick.
So you were kind of easy on the occupancy stuff?
With a
Right.
schedule that they have to meet
Yeah.
of certain improvements, so.
okay. Also, the storage facility's coming along fairly well. I understand that, they have one retail unit potentially we talked about. Is that, announced yet as to who it is?
No, they still haven't, they have a signed agreement, but they had asked not to announce it yet.
How many retail spaces are there?
There should be 4, I believe.
And are they particular about the types of businesses that are in there? Is there some kind of a,
The count,
guideline?
part of a developer's agreement with the council, there was some requirement of retail. uh,
not
Yeah.
service?
Correct.
Good.
Well, not at least, that at least 50%, I believe, would be retail, which 2 out of the 4, unless the council, like they really got a retailer that the council wanted or was okay with, and then that they would allow it to go less. They're really small bays.
Right.
They're not very deep.
Got it.
kind of thing. Okay.
And, anything happening with, the grocery store, which has now been, announced?
We're reviewing the building permits, and we're trying to get them out and up and running, or in construction wise quickly.
Yeah, so, ground's already broken basically, but when will work commence?
I would say hopefully by May, that you'll see a lot of activity going on there.
And their build schedule would last about how long?
They want to open, I believe they were looking at March 2025. And we've done everything to try to squeeze that, closer.
Okay, and, if there's anything else, oh yeah, there were a couple of restaurants along with that, with Olive Crossing. Is there been any movement there?
No, not as of yet. That's the lot 3. That's the building that would be closest to the interchange. And there, we've issued the permits. They just have not started on construction yet.
Do
Okay,
we know what restaurants are going? Oops, sorry.
Outside of the
Do you know?
Paris Baguette and Smoothie King,
What was
supposedly.
the first thing you said?
Paris Baguette.
Oh, okay.
the breakfast pastry place, I understand.
Correct.
And the former Opus property, which is behind the CVS, the apartment building,
We're reviewing building permits for that already.
and how soon would that start?
I would say, I mean, given the size of the building, by May,
And their
At the
build
earliest.
schedule is probably,
I think they were looking at 2026.
okay. And, I understand the brew pub, they were hoping to start, brewing beer early before they opened. Is that,
That's correct. Our hope is to try to get them in there by May. He says it takes about 2 months to do that. I'm assuming the first batch or so, to get him by, a July, August opening
great,
for the public.
fantastic. All right, and, can't think of anything else that's pertinent right now.
Interest, the Clover hit the 50% mark already,
Fantastic.
in terms of the number of units. And that's pretty good, for opening it up in winter, so.
They've got tenants in it, Olive Crossing too, so.
Mhm. That's the Clover,
I thought,
Yeah,
what's,
the Oliver.
oh, the,
yeah.
the Oliver is what I'm thinking of.
the one by the
Oliver's,
old city hall.
What's the, do you know what the lease rate, is it near 100% there?
It's been a while since I last checked. They were like
So-
2 units left
Yeah.
or so, but they're approaching a year. I think come June or July.
Cool.
I know someone who moved out of there already.
Oh, wow.
Happened to sell them a house. Anyways, good. Any other burning questions? Okay. With that, Mr. Carl, appreciate your input this evening. Always thumbs up. I love the positive attitude. Council reports, commissioner reports. I think with that, I think we're done.
I move for adjournment.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are closed.
Thanks, Greg.
Hey, Don, good job. Good job on that.
A lot of paper. No, I wasn't complaining. I just said, can't we do it there?
Go through, there's a couple of different scenarios of how it would get approached. Not for a long time. Yeah, well, there's, that's, and that's where the obstacle is where, because there are some railroad areas in there, yeah, for to run it down the street. And then from there, it'll go through along the side of the J to get to the hammer line. It's on the hammer line. It's straight. All the way through Fort Park. And then you go all the way across the state.
Yeah.
That's the goal. Thanks, Nate. Have a good night.
Yeah, that's good. I'm surprised that, I'm pleased with the way the. voting went,
Not
et
knowing how
cetera.
it was gonna work. I
Yeah,
think,
I mean, sometimes just going ahead and doing something's the best way to get something done.
yeah. And I mean, we can check like on